Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Rainmaking Time. This is Kim Greenhouse. It gives me great pleasure to invite Alex von Eesteren to discuss the importance of search engine privacy and data storage and their new venture Startpage in the United States. It's also known as Ixquick in Europe and in other developing nations. Alex handles business development as well as everything related to the European Union media relations. This company was started by Robert Beans, who's their CEO. There's 500 million law-abiding EU citizens that are concerned about their privacy and feel they deserve to have it. We're at a crossroads in terms of what is private and what is stored data on the internet. There are new laws coming in. There's something called Written Declaration 29, which Alex is going to talk to us about. This should be of vital importance to you if you're communicating at all by the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Alex von Eesteren to It's Rainmaking Time. Welcome.
Thank you, Kim.
Why did Startpage or Ixquick begin its venture in Europe?
We actually started in 1998, so we are quite a long time around. And actually, at the end of 2005, we did an internal study about the liability within our company. And one of the things what pulled our attention was the enormous amount of data we stored. Because like every other technical company or software company, whatever, technical people do keep all data they have. So what we also did in the past was keeping log files of all the activities in our systems. And those log files contained a lot of privacy information, like IP address, search terms, etc. So we saw the amount of data, and we asked our technical people, what's the reason we keep that? And because there is a liability, of course, because imagine that somebody hacks into our systems or whatever, what would you do? So that was the reason we looked into it, and the answer of the technical people was, well, there's no special goal for doing that. It's just there, so we keep it. And we didn't do anything with it. It was just there. So the next question was, can we do without it? And the answer of the technical people was, well, if you really want, we can. But why? And so finally we decided to make sure we deleted all that information. So from June 2006 onwards, we don't store any IP address of our users. So that means that it is a privacy inside out. Because the IP address, of course, is the main important identification, you can say. And of course, we also, because there is a lot around that, we also said we need to get rid of the unique ID in the cookie, for example. So, although it seems sometimes easy to offer privacy, when you want to do it right, it's a lot of work. And there are a lot of aspects you have to look into. So we did, and we from June 2006 onwards, we offered that privacy. And since then, also the technical people were happy about deleting the data. So for us, at least, there was no reason to store the data. So that's how it began actually with the privacy we offer.
I would say that a lot of people that use the internet don't think of their privacy when they're going on Google or Yahoo or Bing and putting in search items. I don't think that most people know that everything they put in traditional search engines is stored under their IP address.
Yeah, that's true, I think. You're right in there. And that's our challenge, I think, as a community. To at least make people aware. When it's a decision, people don't care. That's fine. When they don't know, there's something to do. And what we believe is privacy is a right of a human being. That's right. A lot of people don't realize what they type in their computer screen in general, and search engines in particular. Because why are search engines so important for privacy? Is that searching means actually sharing your most personal thoughts with your computer. Because if you go back into history and think what you have typed in, say for 2 years' time, over 2 years' time, what you typed in a search engine like Yahoo or Google or whatever, then and you realize the amount of information and the type of information, that's quite actually sharing your thoughts with your computer. And if you try to think about what that list means, because that list is a profile, is a user profile of the person who searched, and that information can be used for target advertising, can be used for all kinds of other things. Can also be used because the government simply has access to it. If the government says we need to have that information of person XYZ, then it will be handed over.
Alex, is that really true? Like if the U.S. government goes to Google and says, look, I want Alex Van Eesteren's data mining for the last 18 months. Now, I heard that Google holds data for a minimum of 18 months from the time you click something in.
The government is, and of course there are regulations for that, but in principle, governments, and that's not only in the United States, but that's in a lot of countries, can ask for information about a particular user. And that's just law. And of course, we are also subject to that law, because when the government, example here in the Netherlands, asks us, can you give me the information about person XYZ? Then we can't simply say, no, we won't cooperate. We have to. But when the government asks us, can I have the information of person XYZ? The answer is, I would love to give you the information, but we don't have it, because we don't store any private information. So that's how it works. And we have received those phone calls in the past, or we get those questions in the past.
I think that's great that you don't store the information. Of course, that always leads to the other question, which is how does the public verify the transparency of what you're saying? Not you, but you, the company, is saying that you're really a unique company that's not acting functionally like the other search engines. How do we, the public around the world, verify that that's so?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question, because after 2006, when we started with this, we got that question more often, and we came across a European Commission initiative which was put in place by those days, and it was called the European Privacy Seal. And they set up a bunch of regulations and all kinds of procedures, and actually an audit process. And of course, the privacy is the important thing inside out if you look into that particular audit. So we actually thought that would be an answer for our users when we would receive that European seal. So we started somewhere in, I think it was in November 2007, with the audit, and that includes a technical audit, so all the bits and bytes, and an expert needs to look into the source code, etc., etc. It also is another important thing is the legal aspects. So a lawyer looked into if we met all the legal restrictions. And of course, the procedures in the company, within the company, about how we treat the access to systems and all those kind of things was audited.